So we went through the work group reports, arts work group, healthy habitats, litter bees. Was Jess here for the last meeting?
No, she was not.
Okay. Camille was not here. I gave the tree advisory group report. Maureen, you were there, and then there was me again. Okay. Under matters of discussion, we had review of Keeple played a beautiful organizational structure. And the notes that I recall were we came to a consensus that we would propose combining the Beautification Commission and Keeple played a beautiful. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
And then you would find a subgroup, which we all volunteered for at the time, to help out with anything that needed to be drafted or anything you needed on that.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry, going back to the, well, I guess it was part of that as well. Maureen, I also vaguely recall 3 months ago, youth environmental stewardship was not going to be a separate work group, but rather incorporated into the other work groups as like a
that's
staff
what
group?
we had, given the pressures of all the school systems, just that helping out on anything that anyone else was doing and trying to involve the youth. Like last time, Lynn was doing her thing. I did some research for her, sent her some ideas for a craft. So just spreading the word then through the school system, any way possible as well.
Okay, and that'll cover the, what is it, participation in green schools programs?
Right.
Okay. As components. Plus
But
participation.
Kelly, I don't own any of this. If you have someone out there who, when someone comes to you and has a different vision, this was just the start of something. So it can go wherever someone else wants it. If they feel
That's like every day.
right.
And participation in green schools. Okay. All right. Did we have anything else that you recall from 3 months ago? It's like a lifetime.
No.
All right.
Not for me.
If you think of anything in the meantime, then I will draft some minutes and include them in the next agenda. Okay. That done. Let's move on to the chair reports. Arts work group, I have you up first.
All right.
Did I miss something? Did I skip something?
No. I don't know.
Subcommittee reports, arts work group.
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. I think all of you know me. I'm Shannon Wang. And Plata got money for ARPA money. And one of the designated areas that was getting money was for the Firehouse Museum. So we came up with a plan to paint it, and bids are going out or being worked on now by multiple paint companies in town. There was a call for bids, and this is the design for the Firehouse Museum. So it's getting them a fresh coat of red paint with black and gold accents, and we basically got the palette from the fire truck that is in the museum right now. This money is just for the exterior as of right now, assuming that will take up the funds. If it doesn't, then painting the inside needs to still happen and stuff like that. And it went through we talked to everyone involved, historic, beautification, and even members of the La Plata Fire Department. I guess that's who we met. I can't remember his name, Kelly.
Yeah, Steve Shan.
Okay, and so everyone was really pumped that something was happening to the museum, even if it's just the exterior right now. The existing facade is pretty. It's showing its age, so it definitely needed a new coat of paint, and so that's being bid on right now, and we'll hopefully get approval and get started in the springtime. So we're excited about that. Don't know if there's any questions or not, but feel free to holler if you have any questions or concerns. And then I'm not sure if I mentioned in previous meetings, but there is talk with the Wills Group in town of using the corner of Centennial and St. Mary's. It's a very small snippet of land right there. That we're going to turn into, hopefully if everything works out, turn it into a pocket park, which essentially just means a baby park, where people can just hang out, eat lunch. I know the Wills Group has a lot of employees there at their big building, and so that's kind of where it spawned from, was them having a place to hang out, but in a sense, you know, everybody in town, you know, especially businesses within the, you know, walking distance of this space could use it for lunch or just hanging out. This is the sketch of how it's going to be laid out, with some existing trees and hopefully taking some out and putting in the town tree, which is a sweet bay magnolia, some shrubs, and some small art towers, bird house or bird bath, and there was a call for bird related art because we became the first bird city of Maryland, and one of those pieces that was awarded was an archway, and I don't know if this is news to any of you, but an archway with birdhouses all over it, which I'm not sure is included in here or not, but there's little pieces of art that'll kind of be scattered around. Again, it's a very small parcel of land. I think it's like 60 by 120. Oh, there we go. These are examples of, you know, the pathway. So we'd like it to not just be a solid concrete or asphalt surface. In our talks with different committees, the second picture in what you're looking at now was quickly nixed because of wheelchair accessibility and things of that nature. So something along the lines of the left one, so it's not just, you know, basic, like I said, asphalt pathway, would be preferred. Again, this is still in the kind of planning stages. Do you have the rest of the pictures too? There's an example of bird bath and kind of what could go underneath it. So it's not just mulch or something that'd be a little bit more interesting. The right is the bird arch design. So that's the sketch of what was approved and is currently being worked on. A small art tower. So that's just an example of one that we found online, but each tower would have 4 sides. So we could get, you know, high school students or any type of artists in the area to paint either all 4 sides or 1 side per artist. We're still kind of working that out. And we'd also like to have a community board, which at the time, as of now, we're going to be reusing the Welcome to La Plata sign that was up on the hill where the apartment buildings are going up now. And so we're going to stick that there and hopefully use that as kind of a bulletin board of things that are going on in town, stuff like that. So that should be pretty fun. I think there's a few other pictures of examples of game tables. So we didn't just want just plain boring, not boring, but we wanted multi-use tables. So if someone wanted to play checkers or chess or something like that, they could eat there or play a game as well. And any chance that we can to kind of have a nod to the Bird City, seeing that it's in Bird City and it's called Bird City Pocket Park, we're going to have that with the seating and other elements throughout the park. I think those are the only pictures.
That's it for the pictures.
Okay, yeah. And so we've been working with Lynn to make sure that we get, you know, native plants and make sure that the correct plants are picked for, you know, the sun and everything else around that area. So we've had multiple kind of entities involved in that process. We also, with the Bird City designation and the money that came with that, we are also moving forward with a Purple Martin sculpture for in front of Town Hall, which is slated to be in front of Town Hall right now. That may change. And the artist just submitted the next round of perspective drawings for us. So we are going to be pushing that forward. Just everything takes a little bit of time. So, but that's still happening as far as the art world in La Plata goes. And there's also options for new banners throughout town. So I'm working on getting designs together to show the council and beautification about that. So that's pretty premature, but it's just another project that's happening in town. And I believe that's it, I think.
We did, with the arts work group, also make a site visit to Harbargen Farm to check out their amphitheater. And that was to see kind of how an amphitheater, what the components are that we're going to need for the Wills Memorial Park for the Arts. Trademark. Wills Memorial Park for the Arts. I'm just going to keep saying it.
Yes.
And the, let's see, since our last meeting, I had a meeting with our ARPA consultant about the timeline for the Wills Memorial Park for the Arts. And I don't have the whole timeline in front of me, but the end of the story is we expect to, it should be done. I'm going to take expect back. It should be done by the end of calendar year 24. I mean, easily. If everything goes through smoothly, like I do the paperwork I'm supposed to do. That's one of the key parts. So we've got that in the works, and that's in cooperation with the Parks and Rec Commission. They have some recommendations coming back to us for things they'd like to see in the park, but obviously we're still very open to that, at least until January, and then we got to get an RFP out there and get some bids, see who's going to build this thing for us, and that'll include the amphitheater and also a trail.
And one thing that I forgot to mention regarding the Firehouse Museum is that we do plan to paint the alleyway, the road in front of the Firehouse Museum. And we're going to do a take on chutes and ladders, so it'll be hoses and ladders and all kind of fire themed. And that is kind of a twofold thing to kind of create a buzz around the museum, but it's also another baby step to making crosswalks, painted crosswalks in the town on town-owned roads be a possibility. So that's kind of our test strip. So we can paint it, see how it lasts, how it holds up, how it works, and hopefully get some painted around town too. I think that's it until I remember something else we're doing, but
Yeah.
those are the big ones.
There's bound to be more. Anybody have any questions?
I'm impressed, Shannon, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're going to get dragged in on everything, so you should be impressed, Lynn.
Get ready.
Oh, no, and that is what I love about all our activities with Keep a Plata Beautiful is that so many of them intersect.
Yes.
It just makes it all very easy.
Mhm.
Okay. So next on the agenda, I know I have this Healthy Habitats. It's Lynn, it's you.
Excellent. Are you able to show everyone what I did send to you?
I am.
Oh, good. Because, of course, I can't see it. But anyway.
That's okay. As you're following along on
can't.
your page, I'll just try and keep up with you.
Perfect. Well, it's a good segue with Shannon talking about her wonderful design for the Pocket Park. So I start off with talking about that. Shannon had referred to that archway that will be made with little bird houses. I mean, just looks fabulous. I'd like to recommend that we would plant native coral honeysuckle to vine up around that archway. If it gets real unyieldy, we can keep it trimmed up, and still be able to see the archway, but still have these beautiful flowers. What I'm thinking is if we add this, hummingbirds will really come to the park, and that we could even augment with a few hummingbird feeders amongst the trees. And that takes me right to trees. Shannon and Kelly and I, when we had looked at the park, we had recommend moving, there's 3 Bradford pears. We would need to remove the center one. I actually would love to remove all 3, but number 1, it's costly. Number 2, at least it's giving us some shade. So the idea is just to remove the middle one, and that might be where the really neat picnic table that Shannon is recommending that may have like a checkerboard on it. So that would make it a nicer spot to still have those Bradford pears nearby offering shade. I think the site will also allow us to plant a couple more river birch trees, spelled that wrong, but anyway, over to the right, as well as we can pepper the whole park at certain areas with at least 2 to 3 different sweet bay magnolias, our town of La Plata native tree. And then where Shannon has designed along the walkway different benches, what I would like to see is that we add planters. And the planters, we can add the herbaceous native plants and offer different flowering species from spring, summer to fall. I just think it will lend to a lot of ease of maintenance. Maintenance is usually the downfall for a lot of these native plant gardens. So I think that would that's what I would recommend there for us to consider, which then rolls me to the next action. I'd like to recommend that we ask Jamie Toribio to come and see the park. And Shannon, Kelly, I, Janine, whomever, we could all meet with him. I've been pleased with working with him. He has a lot of experience. As you'll see on what Kelly should be showing of my handout, he was with Dennison Landscaping. He did leave them right around the time when he was working on the bioswale project at Dr. James Craig Elementary in Pomfret. And then the native plant garden at J.C. Park Elementary School, and then our now missing Dorchester Community Center garden. But he has his own company called the Outdoor Living Company, and he can possibly, Shannon, recommend some ideas for the walkway, because that's really up his alley, or walkway. So we
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, see what he might be able to come up with for that. So I figure January, February at the latest, maybe we can get him over there. He's a really nice guy, too. I enjoy working with him. We'll see what he says. He might have contacts, too, for those planters, stuff like that. And then we would go to bird-friendly yard certification. Kelly had gotten an email from
Lynn, I'm sorry, this is Maureen. Could I just interrupt on this garden from kind of an educational perspective? What I was thinking, is there any way, as we're thinking about this, to have identification of the species or any information to help the public understand what is being planted and why? I know that like other gardens, like the Sensory Garden at the Botanical Garden or other places kind of have a little placard or a little information about what the species is.
We even do something like that. Have you been to the Christ? Have you been to Christ?
I have, yes.
Okay, yes. I think we should do that too.
Okay, that'd be like my one, coming from the education component, like definitely this is an opportunity to inform the public as to what would be, why they should be planting in their yard. That leads to your next comment. So
yeah, that would be ideal. Yes. Yep. Money allowing. Yes. All right. Bird-friendly yard certification. Kelly had gotten an email near the end of November from a local I don't know if he's town of La Plata resident or just Charles County, and
He's La
Chris
Plata.
Wagner.
Yep.
And,
Sorry, he
anyway,
is a La Plata resident.
okay, good. And I did copy that whole email on this information, but the short and the skinny of it is with his church. They actually are looking to do a project in April where they get a bunch of their youth volunteers to work on an invasive species removal project. And I thought it dovetails with an idea I've had for last 6, 7 months anyway, to where I'd like to see if we could focus on removing all the Nandina bushes that are around the town. The berries are hazardous to birds, so maybe we could again keep it focused on just looking to remove Nandina, maybe even butterfly bush, and we could purchase some summer sweet shrubs. And I mainly picked summer sweet because Ecotone, the native plant provider up close to Baltimore, they had a good supply of them, and we're giving what would be a good price to us. So it's something for us to consider, and to see if we want to do that with this group, and see how it works. And then if we wanted to try to do it again or grow it bigger, to work for other type of removals. But I kind of like to take baby steps and just do a real focused attempt for that. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Love it.
Okay. I like that answer. Kelly, I did copy you. I went ahead and did send an email to this Chris. No, I'm sorry. I jumped from invasive plant removal. I'm so sorry, guys. David Gardner. I had confused the two things. But I did reply to David Gardner with the church about that. And I'll backtrack to the town of La Plata resident that I skipped over, Chris Wagner. Yes.
I know that there's other, and Kelly would have access to it too, through the Sustainable Maryland program. There's other municipalities who have done a program, who have them in place. I know that the town of Cheverly has one, invasive removals, invasive species removals. So, there might be a template for how they go about doing that for a community, just so that not having to start from scratch and how to think about those type of programs.
Yeah, if you could send me any of that info, that would be great.
I'll look into that. I'll see on Sustainable Maryland's website, and I'm pretty sure we have family in Cheverly who have done it, so I'll try and find that right now.
Okay, great. And again, I'm sorry I went out of order. I was going to talk about bird-friendly yard certification with the town of La Plata resident, Chris Wagner. He contacted Kelly and was interested in us offering in the town a yard certification type program, kind of mimicking existing programs that like National Wildlife Federation offer. And then I kind of thought of, we also have the University of Maryland Extension Service Baywise certification. So I think we can, kind of meld something between these different type of yard certifications and come up with our own. But Kelly and I had said that, we would be interested in meeting with him for lunch probably in January. And I think that's pretty much it. Sound good, Kelly?
Okay. Yeah, I got a couple more things to add in while we're on healthy habitats, unless anybody has questions about the other things that Lynn was talking about.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. So our Bird City, Maryland renewal will be due in February. So I'll be starting that since it's quiet right now. Here at Town Hall, planning has installed bird feeders outside the planning department. So you see them down right outside the building by the employee entrance, by the parking lot. And then also there's another set of bird feeders that just collapsed in the rain apparently, but at the back end of Town Hall, over near the splash pad. I guess that's where that is. So our plan there was to add some educational materials about and kind of do like a monthly changing of the informational materials, sort of to add into the Bird City, Maryland status. We'll figure out how to put that across, but the educational part of that, like Maureen, what you were saying about the importance of having an explanation of the importance of planting native plants. So over at the Pocket Park, this is kind of where we were going with the bird feeders over here. So maybe one month it's bird ID, the next month it's, getting into spring, here's the things you can do to prepare and what kind of plants you should be planting. So kind of swap it out and keep the information fresh.
What kind
Yeah.
of, what kind of signage are you talking about, Kelly? It sounds
Not
like that'll work.
signage so much, but like a little brochure thing that's installed
Okay.
on the pole, so they can take it home with them.
I like it.
Yeah, like a really a leaflet size, not a full piece of paper. I don't want to kill a bunch of trees to put out information, but yeah, something small they can take with them and do something with immediately. And it
Okay.
may be those those seasonal bingo things could fit in there as well.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that'll be, that's easy to design. That's good.
Yeah, that's what kind of where I was going. That'll be easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did
So
we,
Lynn, go ahead.
sorry, it's Shannon. Did we, Lynn, did you have anything to do with the signs that are over at Christchurch, or was the Plata involved at all, or was that solely the church?
It was
Because I like the ones over there.
Fort Tobacco River Conservancy. At the time, the main person that was kind of in charge of the project was Julie Simpson, who has now since left the conservancy.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Yeah. So you didn't have anything to do with ordering the signs like those.
I
They're kind of.
didn't, but I can find out maybe who she used, or I would be interested in knowing that myself.
Yeah, and that might be a good thing for the Pocket Park. I mean, if we're going to have it out in the
That's what I was
out,
thinking about.
out in the open
Yeah.
like that.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. All right, Lynn,
And they're
signing you up
nice
for
over
more
there,
stuff.
the church. Cool.
I'm sorry, I was talking over somebody. Or not.
We're
Okay.
not.
About the bird certification, the yard certifications, we're still trying to do the wildlife habitat certifications too. Could we
Yeah.
integrate that all?
Absolutely. And we'll talk
Cool.
about bees also and all that.
Oh, the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be that one's gonna be a little problematic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what
assumed it
everybody
would
says,
be
and then we just figure it out.
Yeah, I just assumed it would be so similar to your Bird City. It would be a walk in the park, but no.
You're gonna get a lot of people that aren't gonna want. We have people that are on really small lots, and I've already had someone reach out and they wanted to install a beehive on this tiny townhouse lot, and the neighbors were not thrilled about that because their child was allergic to bees. So you're gonna have issues.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
I hear you.
And
Which we
it's a
don't really
problem.
need beehives anyway, but
It's only a problem until we figure out how to get around it.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Lynn, anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Thanks very much. Next on the list, I had the litter bees. Wait, am I on the right list? And let me go ahead and give a very brief summary of Jess's report, which would be over, let's see, 9 monthly community cleanups at parks and different places around town, and averaging 3 to 4 people per cleanup. The litter bees picked up about 1,000 pounds of litter. So that's just, walking the street, walking the trail, 1,000 pounds of litter. That doesn't include the separate adopt a spot places where people have been doing their pickups as well. So I think we could conservatively estimate about a ton of litter did not go into the waterways this year, thanks to litter prevention and litter minimizing. What's the word? Litter cleanups. There we go. And speaking of the Adopt a Spot program, we finally got the signs. I don't know if they've been installed yet. I haven't checked out there, but the signs for our 3 existing Adopt a Spot organizations. So Shop 53, the Friends of Glen Albin, and the Fraternal Order of the Police that's associated with our La Plata Police Department. So Shop 53 adopted Centennial from 301 over to, is it Oak? Maple. I always get that one wrong. To the tracks, 301 to the tracks. The Friends of Glen Albin picked up Glen Albin to the road that runs behind the school. And then the FOP picked up the road behind the school that runs behind the school all the way up to Charles. So, and they've already done, I'm going to say at least four pickups. FOP, I know the Friends of Glen Albin are out there almost, they're out there at least once a month, sometimes weekly. And they never run out. So, one of the things that Jess was hoping to put into place, well, a couple of things. So there was presenting a list to the community of places that maybe need pickups. So if you have seen an area that could use adopting or could use just a community cleanup, like go and do one there, let me or Jess know, and then we'll schedule that for next year. She already does have a schedule for next year, but we can always adjust or add another cleanup. Another thing she was proposing, and I've already sent an email about it, was kind of not a partnership, but maybe some kind of collaboration with the Dorchester Community Center as far as having a regular monthly, or not a regular monthly, but having regular cleanups there. So starting at the DCC and maybe putting up a sign to say, meet here for the cleanups on these dates. And then, maybe we can get some of the community there to come join us if it's there, regularly. We've had them join us a couple of times. The last 3-4 times it's just been basically me, Jess, and Shauna, which is not bad. It was fine, but we would like to engage the neighborhood rather than just swooping in. Okay, any questions about the litter bees? Anything going on with that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Jess. All right, I'm keep looking on the wrong agenda. So the next thing up is staff update. That's from me. I already told you about the Bird City, Maryland application is due for renewal in February. I've already submitted the Tree City USA application, so we should be good to go for that. The deadline on that was December 31st. We do have coming up we may be able to qualify for the Growth Award again. We just need to get the final report from our urban tree canopy study, and that'll put us over the top for the Growth Award. So that'll be 3 years of Tree City and 2 years with Growth Award. We also have the La Planta project coming up. This one is a partnership with the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. They were looking to put trees in La Plata, and we were looking to let them. So in the course of conversation, we named the project the La Planta project. So play on La Plata. Stop laughing, Shannon. I see you. They're working on.
I'm snickering. I'm
Yeah,
laughing.
you are. You're snickering. I see you. We're going to work on a logo for that, and the trees are going to be available to be planted in public and private property at no cost to the receiver. So we did get a good response from the community as far as their interest in having that happen. Just getting the trees was enough. They didn't realize they were going to get them free, but because of the grant money involved, we're going to be able to pay to have the trees put in. We will need to have some sort of commitment from those people who receive the plants to make sure that they do last for, more than a season, that they are actually taking care of them and the trees get to serve the purpose they're planted for. So we tossed around some ideas about that, and we'll see how that's going to go. So we'll have updates on that as well. Janine, do we have anything else on trees pending?
Not that I can think of on trees. I said we have the meeting on Monday about the tree study.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. And then Arbor Day we'll have our official, Tree City announcement again, assuming we qualify, and that'll be on Arbor Day in April. Let's see. So, any questions on trees? Anybody else got thoughts about trees? Hearing none. Moving on. The overall program, Keep America Beautiful program, the reporting was completed in October, which is late. It is actually supposed to be done by August 31st, but I misunderstood that entirely. So it is done. We're in back as an affiliate. And I think that's all of the existing certifications that we have right now until we do Bee City. The mayor is super excited about achieving the Bee City USA status. And with birds and trees, it seems, birds, bees, trees, it all works together. So with that in mind, I did put an advertisement out over in the town notes. I was supposed to put something out over social media and I didn't, but we'll be looking for a chair, someone to head up the Bee City USA certification process, and then hold on to the certification. I'll be honest, I haven't read through all the requirements yet, but looking at what happened at CSM, they are a bee campus already, and I feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to achieve that. Aside from the ordinance for beekeeping at home. But like I said, it's only a problem until we figure out how to get around that. Okay, so Bee City, anybody want to volunteer for that? I'm envisioning tumbleweeds. All of a sudden the cameras turn off.
I like your idea, Shannon. Yep.
Okay, so let's see.
I'll help you, Kelly.
Sorry?
I said I'll help you, Kelly.
I know you will.
I have to, right?
Try and
have
get
a
out of
choice.
it. Okay, and so that on staff updates and for planning, let's see, we already talked about the bird feeders and the native planting. Oh, okay. So the last thing was that I have, Janine, and if you have anything else, please do feel free to chime in. We got kind of an interest email for a grant program through the Chesapeake Bay Trust for green streets, green jobs, and green towns. There's a webinar on Monday. Wait, is it Monday? No, Tuesday. There's a webinar on Tuesday late to see what all involves, but there were various levels of funding for different kind of projects. And it could be that the Pocket Park, we could get a grant that would cover design of the Pocket Park, or we could get a grant that would help with stormwater, which is something that the town desperately needs, is some extra money to go towards stormwater. So, Janine, are you going to be attending that webinar?
I did not get did you send me the invite?
There was a link to register in that email.
Okay, yeah, I'll register.
Okay, so we'll be going to that. And if anybody else is interested, I'm happy to send that link along. It'll be how to qualify for this grant and what things we need to do. Okay, I think that is everything I have on my chicken scratch here. So any questions, suggestions, need to roll back for clarifications on anything? That was a lot. Okay, all right. Well, awesome. Then we will move on to the next item, which was, sorry. Oh. There was no next item. It was matters of discussion and new business. Oh, review of action plan status. Sorry, I'm missing my own notes. And I actually thought I had attached that. So if you just hold on one second, let me go find our action plan. So we can look at here, end of year 2, I believe, how well we're doing scorecard wise. In this stuff all day long, can find it now when I want it. Okay. So let me try and share this.
My picture is way too big in town hall.
Sorry, there we go. Better? All right, so year 1 has closed out. Buy local campaign, check. Public art, check. The historic La Plata walk did not happen, but we do have possibly a similar thing scheduled for next year, the 135th anniversary of founding of La Plata. Spring transplant sale happened. Provide voluntary opportunities for citizen engagement in watershed stewardship, check. Provide incentives for watershed stewardship on private lands. Going to have to review that before I put a check on it. Community scavenger hunt, check. That was the youth environmental stewardship. Green business certification program has not been checked. Participate in Maryland Green Schools, check. So pretty good record for year 1. Stuff we can easily catch up on. Year 2. Yeah, sorry, Director Harrington. This was prepared without consulting with you, I assume. Complete streets policy I know is in development. No pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of code sections that are under development.
Yeah. And see, we even put your name on it and you had no idea it was there, but congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's on my list, and I am trying to get that list moving.
Yeah, no worries. We had a projected start and end date, and honestly, I do not know where these dates came from. Starting in July of 22, running through June of 23. So we figured it was going to take a while.
Well, then we're still, within the time frame.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Without even trying. That is
Yeah.
magical. All right. Create an insect hotel. I feel like this may tie into the Bee City USA status, possibly. We had somebody assigned to that, but they have since fallen out of Keep a Play Beautiful. So we'd be looking to kind of reassign that or allocate that to somebody else with an interest. Might be a good it might be a good youth environmental stewardship type project. I'm not volunteering you for that, Maureen. I'm just saying that youth would be good at it. Has some good potential for scouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would that be something, the Eagle Scout project possibly?
Possibly. I don't know if it would be complicated enough or involve enough people,
Okay.
but they do have to do other service projects at lower levels as well. So maybe if they were doing a couple, 3 to put in different places, because we're talking about insect hotels as opposed to beehives, which people might be more welcoming of. So Yeah, possibly. Facilitate engagement in existing watershed stewardship opportunities, still ongoing. Litter bees are solid part of the program. Evaluate current purchasing practices. Oh, and this one we had Danielle on, so we're going to need to reallocate that as well. Establish local business directory is something I'm very excited about, and possibly something that will work into our new website. I would love for that to be, oh shoot, I didn't send that out. Love for that to be a component in our new website or for our new website. So I'm still on that. Yeah, and I have until the end of February of next year to get that done. So no problem. Backyard chicken beekeeping ordinance. We already have the chicken one. The beekeeping one, yeah, I get it. I did have a thought about, you must have a lot of at least this size to have a beehive or to maintain any kind of beekeeping structures. But I haven't looked at it, so I probably shouldn't say anything about that. But
I'm sure we can find examples. I know after discussing with Brent, we wanted to look at Charles County Animal Control Code because I think that there's some overlap between
okay.
code enforcement and the town and where, they would actually come in and do whatever they needed to do. So he wanted me to look at Charles County Animal Control Code just to make sure that we weren't wildly out of the park.
Yeah, and I don't know what all the this particular action need is. It just having an ordinance? Because if the ordinance is you have to be zoned for agricultural to have a beehive on your property, well, that would be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's hope. And the buy local campaign, which is run through the farmers market, so check. So again, year 2 looking pretty good. Anybody want to volunteer for anything? I always
I
just have to
volunteer
ask.
to rewrite code.
Rewrite code. Excellent. Well done.
I
We
mean,
already
I'm
have
kind
your
of
name
sort
on
of
stuff.
helping with. I'm kind of sort of helping with the business directory.
The busy. Yes.
Kind of
Okay.
maybe.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Another, and you're another of the, yeah, try and not volunteer. Try and escape me. Okay. So looking at year 3 coming up. Oh, hold a green fair. I actually am pretty excited about that. I think that's still possible.
Again, so on that one, it could, how you did the farmer's market on top of the old time holiday gathering. I mean, like,
Mhm.
it just doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could just be simple. Our idea was originally to maybe the part of the wellness stuff that you have on Keep La Plata Beautiful. I mean, Celebrate La Plata in the spring, just like, make that the theme for the year for Celebrate La Plata, like Be Green La Plata or something, and just have, like, not make it a huge thing, but make it a part of something.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe we can have like a section.
Right. Which is, part of what some of it already is.
I don't know if you got to meet, I think it's called Real Happy Earth. They had sustainable products on sale at, was it the fall? I can't remember if it was Celebrate La Plata or the Fall Festival. I think it was the Fall Festival. So I did get in touch with them, and we do come into contact with a lot of environmental groups or groups that might, fall into a green fair. I know the electric vehicle people were very interested in joining a green fair. That Real Happy Earth. There were there's a couple other ones that we keep running into, and we go, we need to have a green fair so we can invite all these people to them. So yeah, making a component of Celebrate La Plata, that is entirely possible, and they would enjoy the extra visitors, the extra foot traffic. So yeah, that's great. I love it. The story walk. We'll see how that goes. We do have funding available. B City, we were shooting for that for year 3, so Mayor be happy to see that on the action plan. Vendor preference statement, that'll be an internal thing here to work out between, I'll probably work that with me and finance. Community gardens, we have talked about this off and on. I've talked with a couple of people. Rootbound Farms was always interested in a community garden, but also the Patuxent Court community down by Wills Park. They're very interested in sitting in and installing a community garden down at the end of their street. They have a playground there, and they have some land. They have some space at the back of the playground that I think could be really cool for a community garden. And it can be funded either through us or through beautification or any number of ways. So I feel like we'll be able to pull that off. Create a watershed plan. Oh, hey, Janine, your name's on something else. I'm hoping we already have a watershed plan and that won't be an issue.
We do not have a watershed plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll see how that works in amongst your 800 other code revisions and plans that need to be revised every year.
Yeah, we had talked about that as part of our last comprehensive plan update. And we just didn't have the capacity to handle that.
Sure.
But it's something that we can look at, again, Charles County and what they have, because they do have a watershed management plan. And we obviously want to look at that just to make sure that we were not going too far out of the line with what they're doing.
Sure. I mean, we are all connected, so.
Yep.
Yeah, love it. And then the buy local campaign, that's almost a given. Okay, but we did have the watershed plan on for, 2024, so really no pressure. So that's what we have coming up for year 3. Okay. Shoot, Janine, there was one more thing that we were talking about, and now I've lost it.
The only other thing I can think of is a sustainable community action plan.
That is exactly it, actually. Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. So,
Okay.
We had submitted our sustainable community application, and we got a couple comments back from the Department of Housing and Community Development. And really, there were comments from Maryland Department of Planning that we needed to come up with some more strategy action items for our different outcomes and goals. So I have started looking at that. Kelly, I sent you an email with a Word document that will be easier to edit.
Okay.
But basically, they said that our action items were very similar to our comprehensive plan, and they wanted some elaboration on what else we can do to kind of realize the goals in the downtown area and our sustainable communities area. So we'll try to update that as much as we can. There's some items that I think Keep Plata Beautiful would be good to get some input on. There's a lot of transportation, economic development. And we have our work group that we're gonna send everything back to. But I think a lot of the environmental side and some of the community health and, that ties into a lot of the Keep Plata Beautiful initiatives. So.
Yeah, I think the really cool thing about this is the stuff that they're looking for is stuff that we're already doing through Keep Plata Beautiful. So like one of them was kind of revamping historic locations and finding new uses for them. Well, that would be the firehouse. Adding for wellness and green spaces in the urban areas, and that would be the pocket park. The creative crosswalks program that we're talking about and painting the pavement, that is also within what they're looking, the kind of things they're looking for, the specific things that we have planned to do. So it's really just plugging them in. So yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything. We do have a matters of discussion. It was the next thing on the agenda. If there's anything else anybody wanted to bring up that didn't get covered already. Sweet. Okay, and then adjourn.
Thank you.
So yeah, our next meeting will be 3 months from now. That'll be March. January, February, March, yes. And it probably won't be the 9th. I don't have that date in front of me. Sorry. The March 10th. Is there any way I could convince people to have a meeting on a day other than Friday at 4:30? It's very late in the week.
I can be free anytime.
Okay, maybe I'll put out a poll.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, awesome. Always a thrill sitting down to see all the great things we're doing. And thanks for all your input and your ideas, and look forward to doing more great things.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you. Good
Thank
to see
you.
you
Thanks for
guys.
your time. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that stuff.
You gonna be there for a while, or what are you doing?